Hi, my name is Goldman, and I'm the director and founder of Goldman and Associates. Our firm has a primary focus on family law issues here in Michigan, and today we continue our video series designed to educate and inform the public, so please subscribe to our channel. A lot of times we'll have people who will say, I had an attorney represent me, I went all the way through trial, I don't like the verdict. I don't like what the judge did, and I want to appeal. Can I appeal? Well, can I appeal is a very different question than if I appeal, what's the likelihood that I will succeed? See, that's really the question. Can you appeal? Yeah, you have a right to file an appeal. You can file a claim of appeal anytime you want. The case is over, you've got a certain amount of time to do it. Anytime within the prescribed period, you can file a claim of appeal. You can file a claim of appeal. You can ask that the court stay the matter, probably won't. You can ask the court, you may be forced to file an appeal bond. There are different kinds of things, but you can certainly file an appeal. You have to understand, though, just because you don't like the verdict doesn't mean that there's a basis for appeal. Just because you got an answer from the court that you don't like doesn't mean your lawyer is going to say, oh great, well we'll just file an appeal. It doesn't really work that way. Let me give you a framework, an idea of how successful appeals work. Aside from the procedural steps involved in appeal, where you have to file certain things by certain times, generally speaking, the court is going to see that an appeal should be granted if there's some error of law. If the court, for example, feels that there's evidence that should have come in that was disallowed, or evidence that was permitted that shouldn't have come in, then the court might find that there's reversible error. The court will have to find that it makes a difference. If the court finds there was error, but it was basically harmless to the result, the court may deny the appeal for that reason. So you can't just appeal the result. You can appeal errors. If the court made a judgment that was clearly wrong because the statute requires of the court that the court consider all the custody factors in making a change of custody, and the court did not do that. Or the court made a finding regarding custody but failed to consider, 5 of the factors. Well, the Court of Appeals is going to say, hey, as a matter of law, you were duty bound to discuss a dozen factors. You only went through 7 of them, and you said, and the rest, blah, blah, blah. And if you do that, the court can easily reverse for further proceedings. The court can reverse and remand for continued hearing on the other factors. You have to understand a couple things, though. The court has a right to reverse and decide differently. The court has a right to affirm and decide in the same way. The court can find that had it been the trial judge, it might have decided differently. However, the lower court was well within its discretion to decide as it did. So even though they might have decided differently, they're not going to reverse. Or the court may reverse and remand for further proceedings. These are all amongst the options that the court has. If the court reverses and remands for further proceedings, though, you're probably going to get the same judge. Unless that judge has since left the bench, it's going to go before the same judge for those continued hearings. So if you feel that you didn't get a fair shake because you didn't like the judge, don't think that the appeal is necessarily going to help you out. Is it possible that they'll just reverse and say this court was wrong and we're entering an order of XYZ instead? It is possible that the court can, reverse right off the bat. But remember, the court, like I said, can reverse and remand, so that consideration of factors, 8, 9, and 10 are undertaken. The court can certainly do that, and if so, you'll be going before the same judge. So appealing the decision and whether or not you can prevail at the appeal, those are two different things. If you have questions about your particular case, reach out, and we'll be glad to help you out.